Hello, everyone, and happy holidays. Well, New Year is coming up, and guess what? We are all going to be obsessed about weight loss. That's the topic we wanted to bring today with Ankita Agnihotri. She is joining me live from India, and she is a dietitian, and we are just going to talk about what does it take to sustainable weight loss. Welcome, Ankita.
Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to be here. And yeah, I'm really happy to be here.
Thank you. So let's just understand, what is the right way to lose the weight, right? We go on yo-yo diets and then, right? And then we gain it right back. So that's what we really want to understand from you.
True. So for me, the definition of weight loss completely changed when I actually, failed a lot of times and then learned from mistakes. Then, because we have this tendency that we associate weight loss term with something like losing, always trying to cut down calories, always try to cut down fat and everything. We are always focusing on cutting down on life when it is about weight loss. But if you will shift your focus from cutting down to gaining health, gaining good lifestyle, gaining good sleep, gaining good muscle mass, that particular thing when happens, weight loss is just a byproduct. And that is why I say that make your life more about gaining rather than focusing on losing. Because when you are always on losing, the life doesn't seem so great, right? And it is really not sustainable. And especially when it comes to calories, because nowadays this new calories fund has started. Calories, I would say it is not the right way to follow, but just saying that calorie deficit is the only way to weight loss is not a great idea, especially for a layman, because he doesn't knows that quality of food matters a lot. And they are just thinking, okay, I am eating pizza daily, but I'm in calorie deficit, so I will lose weight. But you are also losing your health. And that is from where I'm coming. That for me, weight loss is more about health gain.
Okay, so that I think that makes sense. We get obsessed and we start starving ourselves, especially holidays and New Year for the next 2-3 months. That's the process. So, what is the right way? Right? You talked about eating the right food. What is it that you recommend, and what is the mantra that you have?
Okay, so when it comes to eating right, first thing is, as I said, focus on gaining. And by gaining, first thing which you need to gain for weight loss is gain nutrition. Because in the first place, you have so you have gained weight because of some kind of metabolical issues or hormonal issues. Because your hormones, your metabolism, your enzymes, they have been not been able to work efficiently as they are supposed to do, and that happened because of your poor diet and poor lifestyle. So what we have to do to reverse the condition is bring the nutrition in the role, because nutrition is the real part from where our body, our hormones, our enzymes flourish, right? So focus on eating right means eat food which is actually responsible to nourish your hormones. And when it comes to our hormones, most of it depends on protein, on fats, on micronutrients. And rather, what we, in the modern world, what we are doing is having the carb dominant diet. I'm not saying that carbs are villain, but it is not balanced what we are eating, right? And that is why we are deficient in nutrition. So that is why focusing on all the nutrients equally is very, very important. So that is about right nutrition. And the point which you highlighted about the holidays and these festivals, see there what comes in picture is your relationship with your food. So even if you are enjoying it, enjoy it, eat your food respectfully, enjoy the dessert respectfully, don't eat out of greed and don't overindulge. When you are mindful and respect the food, it doesn't work like a poison for your body. But if you are eating out of greed and just overindulging, it works like poison.
Okay, and then you have your own journey. Would you like to share a little bit about your weight loss and health gain?
Yeah, sure, definitely. That is where from where I came into this industry actually, because I myself have been a very, very obese kid, and I had PCOD, which was like very severe at a particular time, and that was the time where I took things in my own hands, because I tried different trainers and nutritionists, but I didn't get any permanent solution. I was always asked to go on a yo-yo dieting and maybe heavy workouts and hours of cardio. So that was not working for me. And that was the time when I realized that something needs to be fixed from the root, right? And that time I started working on my nutrition, my lifestyle, and trust me, within a year, or we can say 2 years, in total, I lost more than 27 kgs and reversed PCOD completely. Yeah.
That's fascinating. And maybe can you share a little bit on your diet? Because I think it will help a lot of young girls out there who are struggling with PCOD.
True. So yeah, when it comes to PCOD, first thing is, there are many reasons behind PCOD when it comes to like inflammation, your hormonal imbalances, your gut issues. So a lot of issues are there. And to be very honest, what thing very firstly clicked and worked for me was cutting out food groups which I thought, or maybe I just researched that these are the inflammatory group of foods, or this is something which can cause hindrance with my hormones or something like that. And to be honest, because I was working on my own, I was not in a proper guidance. So that was the time where I also did some hidden trials, and like cutting out dairy, cutting out gluten. These things really helped a lot. But now, when after 2 3 years, if I look at food, it's like very balanced to me. Now I have understood with the process, I have evolved with this relationship with the food, that I know that what food is good for me up to which extent. So if you are a beginner and if you are facing issues, trust me, moderation is not going to work in the start. You need to reach at a stage where you are metabolically very flexible. But to start your journey, you need to rip the bandage off. You need to cut out food like junk food and the food which you know is causing damage. You need to eat right food. And also, it is very important to know that don't eat less, rather eat right. That is the way to heal your body.
So yeah, no, I think that makes sense. Can you share your typical day? What is it that you eat? Maybe I think that is the best way for us
Yeah,
to understand. Yeah.
sure. Like if I really talk about today itself, so generally I take like in the morning for breakfast is generally eggs and some veggies, or maybe protein smoothie, whey protein. And today morning I was running out of eggs, so I just made some rava upma. I think Indians will especially understand it. So rava upma and 1 glass of whey protein I had in the breakfast. And then in lunch I made some moong dal, that is a legume, kind of legume. I made the khichdi out of it. And also with that, I had some grilled 100 gram of grilled chicken and some green beans. So that was my lunch. And for dinner, because I was working since morning, so I just ordered 1 plate of paneer tikka, and that is it. That is it about today. And in between, I always keep sipping on my coffee, or maybe some drink, herbal drink, something like that. Like for bedtime, I will go for chamomile tea.
So hydration is very important. That's what right. So
Yes.
and is it like just the water, or even you can also have some tea, different type of tea throughout the whole day? You keep sipping.
Yes, definitely. If it is something not too much of caffeine, like don't go crazy over coffee and tea. But if it is herbal and just boiling some seeds and maybe some ginger water, these things you can keep sipping on. Like just salt water, lemon water, these are okay. And
Okay.
that is very important. Water is in any form which is you are comfortable with. You should take water, because hydration is the key.
Sure. So to wrap up, this is a quick 10-minute session we are bringing. So to wrap up, what would be your final message to the viewers? Like you talked about eating right, but what would be 2 or 3 tips that you would like to give?
First thing, okay, very simple. I would say from tomorrow, if you want to start to fixing your food, first thing, start prioritizing protein, because that is where we do lack a lot. So protein should be a very important part in all your main meals. And cut out junk food, because trust me, it is not going to work for you. And like, being very blunt, junk food is the more far you will stay, the better it will be. And just prioritize your sleep, prioritize hydration, just live happy. And as I said, focus on gaining. Weight loss is just a byproduct when you focus on health gain. Do things to gain health, not to lose weight. Even you are doing workout, don't do it to burn calories and burn fat. Rather do it to gain stamina, to gain muscle, to gain endurance in these things.
Thank you so much. I think it makes sense, and you have a success story within yourself, and that motivated you to come into this industry. So that itself is a huge success to all the
Thank
viewers,
you.
to everyone else. Um, just listen to what Ankita is saying. Focus on the gain part, not on the losing part. We are all going into the new year and focusing on gaining your health, which is so important nowadays. With that, have a great week, great weekend, happy holidays, and keep supporting us because we are trying to bring you holistic medicine on a daily basis to help you lead a healthier life. Happy holidays and namaste, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.